Wow, guys. Um, what a mess. What an absolute market mess. If you're still with me, in this market, um, raise your hands. Uh, absolutely mental. Absolutely mental week. I knew it was coming down and I didn't want to believe it. And here we are. We're stuck in this rut. I'm sure you're with me. A good entry point. Puff, puff, pass. Now listen. I think these last couple of weeks I've been sitting there going, "Oh yeah, these are good entry points." In all the things I've been looking at across the market, and yeah, there's just no end to this at the moment, is there? It's just absolutely ridiculous. I think what was really interesting is obviously the lunar aspect and the USD peg. For me, like this is way beyond anyone's comprehension of who's behind all this kind of stuff, because it's like you have the whales out there, right? But I feel like there's sharks everywhere now, and they're very much like got like a hierarchy of people and finance and stuff, and I feel like the people above here trying to shake out the retailers, like the investors like you and I, and just can you imagine how many people worldwide right now who have got into crypto, whether it's the end of last year or relatively recently, and like how much shock they must be in to be like, wow, where's my money gone? I mean, I've been investing since 2019. I haven't even looked. I don't even want to look at my portfolio. It's probably a negative, but I'm here for the long run. So I'm sitting here with two minds really. Like one mind is saying, this is crazy and horrible to watch, but the other half of me is like, okay, we're getting to prices that I haven't seen for a long, long time. That I remember even back then, I was like, I wish it would stay around a bit longer, just so we could grab them. So I'm in two minds with some of this stuff. If you guys out there, want any project looked at was to find out kind of where we're going with this. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like this is all obviously massively dependent on Bitcoin, right? So as well, of course, as the thing is, the correlation is really interesting with Luna and the USD peg and Bitcoin, because I think if I remember correctly, the USD peg via Luna was based on the Bitcoin reserve, from what I remember, and of course they go hand in hand in that aspect. But for me, what was really interesting about Bitcoin was ages ago when I did the chart, I was like, this is a really interesting area for Bitcoin around sort of 28,000-30,000, and I actually think I'm pretty sure it was the last live video we did. We actually drew these markers on Bitcoin saying that actually we got to be cautious, because actually historically Bitcoin doesn't really have that many support lines under 30,000. That's quite a scary thing to think about. If I just remove these markers here, and that we drew in this, we must have drawn this in the last live video as well, because I never do Bitcoin videos. I never do Bitcoin videos, and I think the last time we did one was in a live video, and I drew this in saying that actually 70%, which is a usual correctional period for most assets as a minimum, that would take us down to the 19,000-20,000 Bitcoin mark. I was actually reading up on a load of analysis and statistics out there that some people were saying that Bitcoin would potentially, if it can't hold this $27,000-28,000 mark, could potentially come down to the 22, and if that fails, then we're looking at like $15,000-12,000 Bitcoin. And it sounds a bit crazy, but realistically, if people do their due diligence in research on the charts and things, you would argue that actually that should have been a realistic possibility anyway. As I said, ignore the fib retracement. I mean, the fib retracement chart shows you a massive story in itself, as we drew in the last video, these areas of big interest, because there's just not enough touch points. There really isn't. And you're just really banking on all the whales and the people who have all the money to keep this afloat, right? And the excitement of crypto and stuff. But all it takes is something like we've seen this last week. I mean, some people were pointing out this Luna thing ages ago. And I was like, nah, that's not possible. And then whatever's happened in the background has happened. It's dragged everything down. And we've got to think, guys, we've got to think outside the box that we're in a world recession. People are worried about money. We're trying to pay bills, all this stuff. So it's understandable that people are going to be taking money out, right? And I was going to do the usual individual project videos. And I thought, there's absolutely no point. How can I sit here talking about how good a project is when they're all like 40-50% down? So I'm not going to do a runner like a lot of the other channels have done. I thought I'd come on and just let's talk about what's going on here, because honestly, I've said this for a long time. I have a lot of like private groups on WhatsApp and Telegram and stuff. I've been saying for ages, like, this like $28,000-$30,000 mark is really crucial for Bitcoin. And that might sound like a bit of a cliche number, but actually, because of the historic data that we can see in front of us on this chart now, it's more important than ever. Because if you do break these barriers, I mean, look at if you see this yellow area, the fib around 27, 28, if we can't support that area over the next week or so, I mean, it might even be more shorter term than that. The next levels down are 17, 15,000. People just laughed at me when I said that ages ago, but it's just annoying. Guys, welcome to the channel. As I said, I'm not going to do the usual individual videos today. There's just too much craziness, too much to talk about, and literally every video I would be doing anyway would be like, here's the project updates, but yeah, the price point is horrendous. It's hard, obviously, for people to comprehend investing in something when we're in this area. So yeah, Lewis OT, it is absolutely looking rough, guys. When people were saying to me earlier in various conversations, like, how do we dollar cost average this? Well, I've been buying in the last few days anyway. I'm a long-term holder, and I've always liked these lower prices, selfishly. But what we've got to think about is it coming down lower? So anyone out there that's like, oh, these prices are great, I must jump in. Do understand we're in a big rough patch here, and there might be lower points. You just got to be really careful. MTV ESCO is getting wrecked. What isn't getting wrecked, my friend? Let's have a quick look at MTV, because do you know what? MTV is a funny one, and I've said this on all the project videos that I do on MTV, that I bought MTV back in August. I thought that was a really good price point. I think it still is, to be honest. And we had that big rise, and I got super excited. I think I've sold some around this area at the top, not right at the top. And it's come all the way back down, and we had the big issue with MTV at the beginning of the year that those don't know. CEO left on the 31st December. I think it's Sean now is in charge, right? So there's like a month or two of like craziness with MTV anyway, but the general market has brought this thing down, and it's just gone down and down and down and down. And even when we did the last MTV video, we were drawing this fib retrace, and I was like, nah, I can't really see it coming down to this grey area. And here we are, literally like a week later. I mean, because of what's been going on, of course, it's just penetrating these fib levels on a macro level. Long term, it was messed up anyway, but on this macro area, it's just awful. I mean, what isn't awful right now? I mean, look at all this red down here. I don't even want to open up the percentages. It's just disgusting to watch it. But what you sort of sitting there like, well, what's the new entry point for MTV? Because actually, and again, what we reiterated in previous videos, if we break these barriers, there is no support lines to work upon from the past. The only one down here, back here on the 19th of May last year, when it had a big dip down, if you remember the big Bitcoin leverage failures, I think it was back then. Aside from that, was the last touch point where we are right now today. We're lower than that point. I mean, my goodness, we're just trying to support 1/10 of a cent of MTV. right now. Can you believe that? A tenth of a cent. And way back here, and this is a very similar story for a load of projects, like 2-3 cents. That's ridiculous. I want to see how much of a drop that is, from this top line down to here, where we are currently. It's nearly 100%. That is mad. That is mad. My goodness. I'm actually just gonna grab my WhatsApp up quick. Hope you don't mind, because I just need to tell a few guys about that. We're all like, I'm still super excited about these projects, by the way. I'm actually not worried really, because for me it's like only invest in what you can afford to lose, right? And my goal is 2025 and maybe the next couple years after that. Let me just put it on here. Because this is the thing, like it's the comprehension now of like being able to accumulate with some prices and some projects here that I haven't seen for a long time, and ones that I wish I'd got more of at those times as well, if that makes sense. So that's crazy though. 97% reduction since what's this, last October. Wow. What else have we got here, guys? 29k already, and it's not even June. Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? Because actually, you make a valid point there. I always took great attention in this kind of like June and July area for a lot of the projects, right? MTV was a slight exception, but I can always figure out where that marker is on pretty much all of the charts. It was literally a replica everywhere. I was go to Veracity, for example, as well. It's probably quite similar. You can see it. It's right here. It's this little V shape here. And that was ultimately the last time we had like the bottom out of most projects. But right now, literally right now, we are almost teetering like way below that area. And it's almost like hopefully some of these projects will come back around in the next few days or the next week or two, and we will indeed actually be testing that old area. That's possibly what we are doing right now. We're literally going back to this previous low, testing around it. Charts aren't just about macro. There's also massive longevity aspects to it. And look at this Veracity on the back here. It's just crazy, isn't it? 6 months down 88%. So it's pretty much probably taken us to those high levels of October, November. I'm not even going to do a price down range. It's pointless. But yeah, it's probably going to look very similar. 90%, 97%, guys. This is madness. Absolute madness. ETH is doing better than I thought, says Lewis. Yeah. Do you know what? That's a really interesting point. Because we had a conversation with a few people very high up in the finance world earlier this morning. And we were talking about like, okay, it seems like, of course, a lot of people are selling, but a lot of the volumes are still coming in. And what it looks like people are doing, they're looking for safe havens. They're like, okay, I don't want to exit crypto. I want to put it somewhere that's going to be safe. Not necessarily safe, because I don't think anything's safe right now. But like, do you know what I mean? It's like something that's a bit more concrete, a bit more leverage aspect to it. So, Ethereum, let's just have a look at that actually. I mean, that's not doing amazingly well at all either. I mean, I actually looked at this the other day and I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it's funny because some tokens don't look as bad as others in terms of price points, because they're only like small, minute things. Like 3 cents down to a tenth of a cent is actually still a massive percentage, but in your mind, you don't think it's huge, right? It's like, oh, it's only like 2-3 cents. Depends on how many you've got of them. But for Ethereum, I mean, back here on the 5th of April, let's call this a month, right? 3,400, 3,500, and that was doing pretty well against most of the market, to be honest, and it's just tanked. Again, for me, it's about gains, not so much the amount. If you don't have $2,000, that's not anyone's place to say who should and shouldn't do things, but like, if you're thinking about the gains aspect, of course, Ethereum is one of the big powerhouses. It's always going to do well because, well, look at EVM technology, right? The virtual machine aspect of Ethereum is that pretty much everything, every asset operates on Ethereum, to be honest. Hence why we've got the OX addresses. But people are shifting it. I'll tell you what one I don't have on my list here, but is of real interest because it looks like a lot of people are shafting their money across to this at the moment. When I saw it earlier, was Maker, which is very interesting. So I still, well, it was doing well earlier today. Oh dear. Wow. Look at that. What is that? This is what I was thinking earlier. I thought, oh, people are moving their money to Maker. There's no way that happened today, surely. That is mental. So just today with Maker, guys, we've seen literally roughly from $1,200, it shot up to $2,300. Obviously, there's some profit taking there, 100%. It's gone in the opposite direction, 100%. Like the rest of it's gone down 90%. But now look at that retracement down. It's literally leveled off to yesterday. I mean, fair play to people that put in, say, $1,000 or something and pretty much doubled their money in one day with probably quite a bit. Oh, that's mental. I can't believe that. The other aspect as well I wanted to see was DAI, DAI, and also probably thinking we see a lot of the other stable coins doing well. I mean, obviously they're not going to fluctuate in price because it's stable coins, but what I mean is like people are putting their money in safe places in this market now. But wow, my goodness. Bullish BK. Buy. Yeah, do you know what? I am buying around these various different areas, but it's so hard. Can't decide between VRA or XYO. Well, they're both pretty decent projects, to be honest. We just looked at Veracity briefly on the chart. I'm actually going to pull that back up again because I want to just distinguish quickly where on earth we are with these markers here. I'm just going to move. In fact, I'm just going to draw one over the top of this one because this is the mess. And I'm going to pull it back to where we were before, which hopefully this will allow me to do. So I've not got enough USB ports, so I have to do this like with a touchpad. Okay, there's a low point back here from July last year, and relatively to one of the higher points. In fact, I'm just going to shove it all the way to the top just for the purpose of this part of the video. This is a long way up. Wow. This went up to nearly 9 cents. Crazy. We're horribly this just looks horrible, doesn't it? What I'm also going to do is just put this to that area there and pull this one back down to a recent high point, which I believe was not too long ago, it was like a week or so ago, because this should show us what's going on with the movements here. So we're just looking at, in fact, I'm going to get rid of this one if I can. There we go. Tidy it up a bit so I've got so many lines. Yeah, see, even on the macro levels, it's just crazy. It's horrible. Is it bottoming out? Well, this is the question, because again with Bitcoin, like we just said with Bitcoin, is we're matching these areas back in July, right? And majority of the projects, and I'll just confirm this with Bitcoin itself as well. If you look back in historic information, June, July last year, this is where we are with most of the projects now. We're matching those periods, either February or June/July of last year. Other than that, with majority of the assets, there aren't any support lines below that. So this is why I said to people, we could see a 22k or indeed even like maybe a 17 or a 15k Bitcoin. If this doesn't support at this $28,000 to $30,000 level, it can hit those markers. And if looking at a long-term fib level here, the gaps are big and they can come down quickly. Look at what's happened with Bitcoin in literally the last few days. It's literally hit fib retracement to fib retracement, bang on. Very much bang on up here, 36, 37. And it's literally within a week dragged itself down to 28. So this is really critical. It's a really critical point. And back to my point about veracity, it's exactly the same point. We're literally testing this ground right now. We have to just have the fingers crossed or whatever and hope that it holds back. But yeah, XYO, again, is just when you're asking which one to put it in. I mean, honestly, I can't give advice anyway, as you know. But for me right now, I'm just dollar cost averaging in all the ones I've got at the moment. I'm not adding any new ones. I'll tell you what, the only one added earlier was Luna. For the first time, I added Luna to my portfolio. I bought a load of it at $1. I sold it at $4.37, and then I bought back in at $1.87, and now I think it's back to $1 again. So it wasn't too bad, but I'm not adding any new ones. I'm just looking at opportunities to accumulate ones I've already got. So yeah, very interesting indeed. First year into crypto. Welcome to the party. I hope you're enjoying your first year in crypto, my friend. Arthur, it could get even worse. Yes, absolutely, mate. Good to see you on here. Yeah, it could get even worse for sure. I'm literally holding back now. I've done my buying for today, and now I'm holding back just to see what's going on, because we've had the CPI information coming out today about inflation. It wasn't as bad, I think, as they thought it would be, but it's still not looking great. So I think there's still going to be a bit of concern as those narratives come out with the media from the CPI inflation rates and stuff like that. People will start adding more panic to themselves. Oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Look at the fuel prices, bill costs, food prices. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute joke. And they're actually, whoever's like coordinating all this stuff in the background, it's highly coordinated, 100%. You can tell it a mile off. Knows that people's mindsets at the moment are a bit flaky, in the sense they need to obviously look after themselves, number one, their families, whatever. The crypto thing comes second, I guess, or investments in general, stocks in general. And they know they want to shake the retail out. They want to shake everyone out. I'm not selling anything. I will sit here till zero if I have to, because I know what's coming in the few years. The crypto's not going anywhere. Digital currency is not going anywhere. It's just got to hold it out. But as you say, Arthur, it could get even worse. And I do believe they're on the brink of finding out. It looks bad now, but if we, like I say, if we break this support and it doesn't hold, we're looking at very lower levels of Bitcoin. Buy price of Cadena, Chris. Cadena. I haven't heard of that one before. Double check if Chris, if you're still with me, let me know what the symbol is for that one, and I'll definitely have a look at that for you. Have you heard of NYM or A0? Neither. I haven't heard of either. Let's see though. I'll do this for you guys. NYM. I'm assuming it's this one. Okay, let's use the OKX exchange. I think it's Ocean, right? Let's see if that's added on here. Hopefully the data's decent. It's not decent. Brilliant. Let's see if that's a great start. NYM. Let's try an older one. That's probably Qcoins are probably going to be a good one. I should probably tidy this up, really. I've got like 100 assets on here. That's even worse. Oh, no, it's not. That might be good. I'm assuming it's just recently launched, right? Who wrote about this one? WERV. Is this a new one? I can't really tell you much about this, to be honest, because obviously it looks like it's had its TGE recently, or like added to the exchanges, and it's come down quite a bit. That's what I can tell you. Let me know if there's an exchange you bought it on that might have bigger data, and I'll definitely look at that. A0, it's not one I've heard of either. If you, oh no, I think we've got it here on Gate. Oh, I don't like Gate Exchange, right? Let's have a look, see how much data we got here. Again, that's not launched too long ago as well. Again, yeah, WF, if you're still with me, let me know what exchanges you got those on, and I might have better data, because I can't really tell you. But in other words, I haven't heard of either of those two, but I tell you what I'll do, I'll add those two to the next episode of People's Crypto, for sure. XRP Brett, my friend, welcome. Hope you're enjoying your night out. I saw some crazy videos earlier. Well done. Joe, I'm not selling anything, but this goes well beyond shaking out retail. This is about a great reset. Of course. The great reset isn't a new thing. I go on about that a lot in videos like the World Economic Forum and things like this. It's all there. It's all plain to see. The Great Reset is actually really interesting, like Build Back Better campaigns and this, that, and the other. These URLs for the websites and stuff were purchased like in 2016. Like, I'm not stupid. The Agenda 30 program, I think, was signed in 2015 by over 160 countries. And then you see the accumulation of, what's happened over the last few years and what's to come to the next few years. Of course, this is a big shakeout happening in this last week. What banks, what big institutions want retail investors in here? Of course they don't. They want the money for themselves. And this kind of relates to the point, as you said, Joe's not selling anything. I'm not selling anything. No chance. I'm holding on to dear life. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. It's not going to go to zero. But it's still pretty scary. But if you're in it for the long run, if you believe in the projects, if you believe in what you're investing in, there shouldn't be any issues with your mind. WF, Cadena, KDA. Okay, let's have a look at that. Let's see if I can find it via symbol. Is that a new one? Binance. Okay. Hopefully this is the right one. It should tell me on the top in a second. Let's have a look. Let's pull the info up. All these numbers on here, and it doesn't tell you something simple as like what I'm looking at. Let's see what we got. That's not going to help either, is it? Useless. I'm assuming this is the right one. This only launched back in March. I tell you what, mate, you are very good at finding new ones. Have you been holding these before they launched? I'd like to know. Oh, they both recently launched. I'm sure you love what NYM and A0 are doing. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to write them down now. I'm old-fashioned. I write things down. I don't use iPads. In fact, I don't even have an iPad anymore. I don't really watch TV or anything like that. I just too much work to do in the blockchain world. So we have NYM and A0 and KDA. They all look pretty new to me. I'm assuming KDA is new as well. So for sure, I'm going to do those on the People's Crypto. I think I might have time to do that this weekend, actually. I'll have a look. Awesome. Yes, Joe, absolutely. I think we're on the same wavelength. Can care to share what your biggest holding is? Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I don't know. On CoinMarketCap, it was suggesting like value-wise was XRP. I might need to check that again now, obviously. But in terms of like unit numbers, probably XDC, and it's one I'm really excited about. I think the ecosystem's massive. I think it's gonna be really exciting for years to come, especially with all the different videos we do around it and what's coming in the world. I think the next couple down from that, from after XRP, is Cardano and Harmony One. Harmony One did very well for me last year. I didn't sell any, which I probably should have, because it went up ridiculously. And now look at it. Imagine with my holdings of one, right? I was buying one at literally 2 cents from like cheeky crypto days when I used to watch that channel a lot. And yeah, my goodness, going from 1 cent, it went to like 35-40 cents at the end of last year. It didn't do anything. Now we're back to 4 cents again. I mean, sometimes hindsight's a beautiful thing, right? I sit there now and I'm like, man, if I'd done that, never mind. We live to learn. But they're probably my top ones at the moment. XRP, Brett, my friend, I'd rather die on a field that I tried than not tried at all. There's no shame in seeing the play and missing the catch. It's seeing the play to begin with. Yeah, no, that's absolutely spot on. This was always on the cards. Of course, I think you and I had a conversation recently, actually. By the way, myself and XRP Brew, we live locally to each other near Portsmouth, and we go bowling sometimes. We love bowling. So if anyone's around and they like bowling, let me know. Come and take a few lanes with us. So or anyone's welcome. Yeah, I think we talked about this a while back, didn't we? Which even back when it was like 36, 37, it was struggling. We thought like the next level's down on near 30 again, which we saw previously, and now we are where we are. It's absolutely mental. Awful, actually. My biggest bag is XRP ESCO. Awesome. That's great to hear. So if you've watched our recent video on the RTGS system, it's absolutely fascinating. Not being biased because it's our video, obviously, but I couldn't believe. I knew about the RTGS system, but I didn't know about its massive power. $720 billion is transacted and confirmed and verified through the RTGS system currently. We're talking about like the next level of Swift and Chaps and stuff like that. And that, the interlacing of things like Quant, XRP, XLM, Algorand, Hedera. There was another one. I think it was Avalanche, possibly. All part of the ISO 200022 club. These ISO coins are so fundamental for the future. If we're looking at cryptos that are going to last for the next few years, after all these various shakeouts that we'll have and regulations, there's going to be a small handful that are just purely the mechanism system behind the new financial world. And then that RTGS video we did recently, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, because it's all on there. BIS have the whole Helvetia and Jura projects running right now in trial periods, and every single project finishes towards the end of 2024, and the switch on is 2025. Very convenient. But yeah, XRP is going to play a massive part. WF, do you run any nodes? Real nodes, not the Ponzi crud or mine. No, I don't do mining. I think I'm a bit too late for that. And my internet is absolutely crap, so I don't have the best of connections anyway. And I think like some of the really good mining opportunities out there are, you got to do quite a lot to get something out of them, right? Because they're quite popular now. But I am interested in, I can't remember the name of it. There was one that I was after, but it was quite expensive. But I'm actually interested in the MTV, the multi-vac nodes coming out soon. But I know you need 1 million tokens for that, and I'm nowhere near that. So I need to probably, if I want to take advantage of this awful market right now, and try and obtain and accumulate as many MTV tokens as I can, hopefully towards the million mark, and grab those, because I think an MTV node, if the project does what it says it will do, which I think it will, I know it's had a topsy-turvy year, as well as the market, of course. I think that could be some really good node opportunities, because it has a massively good scalability program, which I'm really interested in. And they see themselves like a competitor, like DAG systems, like the direct acyclic graph projects like IOTA and Constellation. I think it's going to be difficult to knock them off their perch, but I certainly think there's room for all of these projects. So that's probably the node I'm after, but at the moment I don't run any, but for sure that is one that I'm interested in doing. But if you do have any nodes that I should be looking out for, do shout them out in the chat for sure. Always up for learning new things. But let's have a look at a couple of other chart things, guys. Do chuck some assets out that you want me to look at. I'm not going to go on for too much longer, because I think the narrative is clear right now, what's going on. VeChain is another one I hold a lot of. It's a mess. However, what I will say is, when I was first buying VET way back in 2020, I would actually say that was one I think I got around like March 2020 was the terrible time when the big crash happened. I say big crash, it actually looks really small compared to all these other ones. But I started buying vet around June, July time, I think. So it was under 1 cent. So it's come a long way since then. But even now, coming back down, it's like, wow, I could have actually made a lot of opportunist selling in these periods. But I'm long run, I was holding it. End of discussion. Don't need to get stressed about it. I'm still going to accumulate vet. It's at a price point that's really exciting. Can it come down? No, of course it potentially can. I mean, it looks like it's horrific right now, isn't it? Like everything else. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what, actually, before I go into a couple of the other comments on here, my kind of like top 5 I'm trying to accumulate, H bar has come down to under 10 cents. I'm really excited about that. It's one where I was accumulating back in 2020 with a goal for 2025, and I saw it rising and rising and rising. What did it get to? Just under 60 cents. It's now 10 cents again. For me, I'm excited to see Hedera back down here. I know it sounds stupid, but it's absolutely crazy. EWT is one of our bigger bags as well. Again, it's another one I'm bagging right now. Like I bought a load more earlier, especially at like 250. I think I got it at like 252 or something. I think it could potentially come down lower, but I'm sort of sat there going, well, I've always been buying EWT at fluctuated prices anyway, $6, $9, $12, $4. That's just how I've been doing it, because you never know along the way. No one arguably could have predicted significantly that this was going to happen, right? So I've always been dollar cost averaging up and down. I have a target of how many EWT I want in my portfolio, and hopefully I can get that in this crazy market we're in. When are you going to provide a dive on Algorand? Do you know what? I held Algorand in 2020 and I sold it at one of the top areas, and I never bought back in. Not for any other reason really, just adding other projects. Algorand is literally top quality project, and it is going to have a significant implication to the new financial world. When it comes to the Digital Pound Foundation, Algorand's massively behind that, and all the CBD systems and everything like this. So I'm going to lie to you, I'm not going to just jump straight into the chart and know what I'm talking about with its previous prices and stuff. But yeah, when I was back in, I must have got Algorand when I first opened up my Coinbase account, which was just towards the end of 2019 actually. So I was probably having Algorand around just under that 20 cent mark. I remember the 16, 17 pence. So that's probably what, like 22, 23 cents or something at the time. And that had a big rise. I sold Algorand, this is where I think I sold it, was roughly around here in February last year. So I had a good return on that. But then I didn't carry on and it went up flying, and I was like, oh no, why did I sell it all? Why didn't I keep it? But again, like all the other projects, Algorand, I mean, it's had a big dip today, particularly like everything else has, to be honest. So zoom in a bit more to that. It's quite significant actually. I mean, what's that? From 2-3 days ago, 80 cents down to 4. I don't know why I need to do that. That's just easy maths, isn't it? It's pretty much halved. Honestly, what are you doing, Simon? Right, let's pull this back a second, because again, it's penetrated these previous support lines back in June, July. This is exactly what I just said at the beginning of this video. We're hitting the testing ground of last June and July, and this is literally a crunch point for everything right now to see if we can hold this, including Bitcoin. For those that are joining the channel right now, when we went through the Bitcoin chart earlier, everything is pointing to this moment in time. And even back here for Algorand, look at that, August 11th. In fact, I'm going to draw it so you know what I'm talking about. Where's my horizontal lines? There they are. Look at this. So you got this touch point back here in August 2020, and then around June, July. It's pretty much where we're bouncing around right now. It's like it wanted to pull itself back up to this marker, couldn't do it, failed. And it's now like a magnet. It's like a magnet trying to pull itself back down to around these areas, 49, 50 cents. I mean, we're around 40 cents now. Earlier today, I don't know what it is right now. What's the price of Algorand? 44 cents. That is mad. I'll tell you what, though, you raised a good point, TY. or Thai, I'm assuming. Um, I do need to start doing more Algorand videos because it is a top project. I probably need to actually at these low prices. I probably need to jump back in, to be honest. But we'll for sure do more of that. We do talk about Algorand on the deep dive videos for sure. I find it really interesting. I know a couple of people in like the board levels of like world pay and stuff. Some things I can't say what's coming, because that would implicate quite a few people, I reckon. But what I will say is, yeah, there's some big things coming with the CBDCs and the central banks and stuff, and Algorand is a massive part of that. Of course, that doesn't reflect right now on the price, but when you know, you know. Bullish BK. I know what I hold. This does nothing to me. I have zero emotion. That is absolutely spot on. The first couple of years, so like a hair in my mouth. There we go. The first couple of years, I was quite emotional with crypto, and then when I got more into the space, like I work in blockchain and crypto gaming and stuff, and I think probably since like really investing time in researching and learning about cryptography and blockchain and stuff, I realized like what's coming for the near future. So I sort of took this approach, like I need to stop worrying so much about this. Like some people are looking for quick money. You're not going to get quick money. I mean, you could get lucky with some of these things, and if you know how to trade, fair play to you. I do some trading on some assets, and most of them I just hold in staking or in my ledger. I pretend I don't have them. And it's similar to this position right now. All I'm looking at is going, okay, this price is a lot lower than it was 3-6 months ago. It's one I've tried to add to my portfolio, so I'm going to do it, right? So, yeah, it's really interesting that removing emotion is an absolutely brilliant point. It's difficult. It's difficult to remove your emotion when you're seeing things like we're seeing this week. It's horrendous. I do feel sorry for the Luna holders, where are all these weird fur things? Do you know what I think it is? It's like the dog has been eating the microphone or something, and there's fur everywhere, and it's going in my mouth. It's quite horrible. So yeah, removing the emotion is really important, and being strategic with everything. Like I said, right now I've been buying today. I've been buying over the last couple of days, but I'm still in my mind with bags of USDT at lower levels just in case. You don't know where the bottoms are. You can see the fib retracement levels on all these projects, but you don't know where the bottoms are realistically. You can only just judge, as best as you can for these areas. Let's have a look. Like I said, if you have any projects you want to have a look at, do mention them in the chat. I mean, Power Ledger as well. Power is probably actually one that I need to accumulate more of. And look at that, 22 cents. What on earth is going on? Zilliqa, wow, what a project. That had a great time with its metaverse launch. Absolutely brilliant. And now it's back down to these levels again. I'm not interested in Zilliqa again, price point wise, unless it comes back down to maybe 4.2 cents. Just because I like that area. And of course XTC, phenomenal project, and that is just awful at the moment as well. Look at that. Someone said literally yesterday in one of the videos I was watching, they were saying like, oh, XTC is holding itself against Bitcoin and against everything else, and everyone was like, mate, just give it a couple of days. And here we are a couple of days later, and we've gone from this point here where he was saying that like 6 cents, and it's now back down to 4.3, and that's actually a brilliant price point. That has hit the lower region of the fib retracement that we saw back here on 24th of February. It's rejected it, I think, so far. It's pulled itself back up to this level here, 4.5. So I'll probably add some more XDC to my bag. Yeah, I think I will after this video, actually, as a DCA anyway. If it comes down to brilliant. XDC is one that I was slow at accumulating. I don't know why, but in the last literally couple of months, I've been like, wow, hallelujah, there's an opportunity here. Oh wow, loads of comments, cool. Thanks for joining us, guys, by the way. Hopefully you're having fun. Well, apart from the chart. So Yes, zero motion. Here's two tokens people aren't talking about that are ISO ready and CBDC building. XEP, Electro Protocol, and CPH. CPH I have heard of, but I haven't done much research. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add them to my list here, where I've got NYM, A0, and KDA currently. So I'm going to add XEP and is that CPH? Yeah. So I haven't done one for a while, but what I do every now and then, when I get a good influx of people requesting things, I'll do a people's crypto show. So I actually do a load of research in the background about the ones that people promote their thoughts on, and then I'll hopefully bring them to life a bit. And some of them we continue in regular videos, or at least we come back once a month to discuss the previous people's episode, etc. So thank you, WF. I think you must be like the king of gems or something. You seem to find these hidden ones that I've never heard of. So I will be very much looking, especially if it's ISO compliant or indeed working towards that. I'd be very interested to look at those. So thank you. Bullish BK. Mine is XRP lower 1%. Yeah, XRP is it's actually holding relatively well, considering. I think it's like 40 odd cents when I saw it earlier. Let's have a look. 40 cents. Ooh. Oh goodness me. Well, I'll tell you what though, when XRP was back up like 78 cents, I was like, oh man, I wish I bought more when it was lower. And now we're here. So what's everyone doing about it? Let me know. But we're back. We hit 36, 37 cents. I missed that one earlier. I did buy some yesterday around 47 cents. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. It's come down another 10 cents. But again, really interesting. June-July period here. And it's rejected it so far. It's literally 2 days ago. So yeah, we could be, with XRP in particular, we could indeed be testing this 40 to 36 mark quite heavily. What I mean is this area here. Just going to draw it. Ooh. It's got these. Oh, go away. Why? Thank you. I'm just going to move that over there. As you see what I mean, these low touch points here, but also this area here. Really interesting. That's pretty much probably where it's hit today. Let's have a look. Look at that. This is what fascinates me the most about charts, guys, because traders, whether they're putting bot orders in or orders in general, they're looking at this with intricate detail, because this price point we hit earlier today, literally matching this back here, January last year, and February, the drop down. That is really interesting. And that shows you that lack of support from that area upwards. I mean, we had some great moves with XRP, of course, over that period of time, over a year or so. But the reality is, the longevity of these projects is you do have to look way back and go, actually, this looks very nice up here, but there's no support mechanisms, and it's been failing for quite some time. And isn't that fascinating that it's hit that area? So if we don't support where it is currently, which is, again, other than here, on the 14th, 19th of March last year, there has been a lack of support between that area and up here for XRP. Only 1, 2, 3 points at this area, 55 cents. Isn't that interesting? So we could potentially see some more testing around this 36 cent area. And if it doesn't hit that one, if it fails that one, we're looking at like 32.30. And then it's way down low. So this is really critical time, guys, for all the projects right now, in my opinion, is this period of time over these next 48 hours and the next week. Really interesting. Is there a reason why there's no donate or give button on your stream? Is there a reason? One, I don't know how that works. Two, do you know what? Like, fair play if people want to donate money, but that's not what this channel's about. I do it for the love of the space and for the love of you guys out there. But yeah, maybe I can figure out how to do that at some point, for sure. But yeah, don't worry, guys. it's very nice that you want to donate stuff, but maybe I can add that to the next one. So being attacked outside by cats. Yes, bullish BK, XTC, IOTA, Algorand. You're literally mentioning probably at least two of my most favourite projects. Algorand, as I said, fantastic, but I don't hold it at this moment in time. Absolutely brilliant. API free, phenomenal. Telcoin, I haven't really done much research on. That was a very heavily talked about project, wasn't it, a while back? UBX, very interesting. UBIX, right? With the protocol of the sensory aspect, where they believe that they can obtain things like car crashes and stuff within blockchain and then complete an if anyone's played the game Division, when they used to show you the story of something happened in the past, but they used to be able to do like 3D models of it and where people were standing, what they were doing. Ubix claims to be able to do stuff like that. I can't remember the name of the actual protocol of that. Very interesting. Ty, I'm stoked for 2025, as am I, my friend. Holding Algo and Quant. Now, Quant is unbelievable. I think it's around $50 at the moment as well. Again, I've been buying that on the way down. Like, I was buying it at 120, going, this is amazing. I was buying it at $100, thinking this was amazing. 87. And now it went down to like, what did it go down to earlier today? A low of 51. I even missed that one. So it's 61 now. Still good in my opinion. But again, Quant, not many touch points. We cover this in most of the Quant videos, to be honest. But look at that. June and July. Same period of time that we're just talking about. And it failed it. It actually failed, rejected that come down, which is quite nice to see so far. But will it hold that? Because if it doesn't hold that, we could be seeing lower regions of Quant back down even more so at these 44 odd levels. So, I mean, that's a great accumulation point. But yeah, Quant, my friend, is absolutely phenomenal. I think Quant, if you do your proper research in the background, how much Quant is dealing with the Digital Pound Foundation and the CBDC systems around the world in general, it's an absolute powerhouse. I want to grab some more algo. I need to grab some algo in general, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely. Non-subscribed. Will Multivac survive? This is a interesting topic. We cover MTV a lot in our videos, and I think it will survive. There's a lot of holders of MTV. There's a lot of MTV in staking right now. I might need to check the contract pools of that and see how many people pulled out. But in general, as I said in some of the videos recently, is the communication's improving. We're seeing a bit more of a roadmap from those guys. But with any of these crypto projects, if you take the prices aside and you look at the projects on paper and what they're doing right now and the integrations, that's what's more important and interesting to me right now. I do think Multivac is a great, massive potential in the future, but it does really need to nail more and more the marketing and the communication side over these next few months, especially in these bear markets. You know, if you're looking for confidence and trust in something, these are the areas where you need the projects and the CEOs and stuff to really step up and go, hey guys, we're still here, we're still, marching on. WF, you finally mentioned one I do know. Electronium, yes, I do hold that, absolutely. Digital Pound Foundation. So I don't know if they're fully integrating with the Digital Pound Foundation, but what I do know is from an advisory perspective, they're definitely there. And the stem from that comes from, I think, all the work that they've been doing in Africa as this like payment system with like using mobile phones as an identity. What you're going to see, by the way, you see like Elon Musk taking over Twitter, right? There's loads of different reasons behind that. But one of the ones in particular in my mind is about digital IDs, removing this anonymous aspect to people and having to bring yourself to the forefront with everything that you do, digitally, financially, whatever it is. So yeah, I think Electronium has a big part to play with this. And who knows, the mobile numbers that we hold on our phones these days could indeed be the number aspect of ourselves. Who knows how that would develop. But there's a lot of work with Electronium going on at the moment, like you say, with the Digital Pound Foundation and loads of other things out there. But yeah, I mean, it's guys. I mean, I'll probably wrap the video up very soon. But yeah, do in the next like 5 minutes that I'm still here. If you want to chuck out any tokens you want us to look at, do let us know. But yeah, goodness me, guys, this market. All I would say is like some leaving remarks is that you may be sitting here thinking like, oh, this is a great time to jump in. Just be cautious. Please be cautious, because we really need to see some proper support at the moment for Bitcoin. It's too volatile. It's too scary at the moment to think about where it's going to go. That's what I'm saying. So just be careful with everything on that side of it. And yeah, well, hopefully we can start seeing a bit more positivity. I'm just going to quickly check another asset here in the background. But yeah, let us know as well in the comments whether it be now or in the comments of the actual description of the video when this goes into the publication aspect. So what projects have caught your eye in this bear market, or what's exciting you the most? What are you going to go after? Because I think it's really interesting to see this this development, right, as time goes by, what we're going to win with. But all I will say, guys, is thanks for watching. We hope that we will see you in the next live video. If the market's like this tomorrow, I'll jump on another live one. But yeah, do come armed with the tokens and the assets that you want us to look at, because there's just no point in me doing individual videos at the moment. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap that up. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next live video. Let's just hope this improves the market at some point. Ciao for now, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.